Okay.
Hi, Dick Rauscher here. Are we heading into the sixth extinction? I'll be back in a minute and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Today we're going to be taking a look at the article, Stony Hill article number 238, entitled, "Is Humanity on the Brink of Maturity, or Are We Creating the Sixth Great Extinction?" This article basically focuses on the importance of learning how to live in a right relationship with nature. Key concepts. First key concept is the current trends of our human civilization are not good. Forest fires, droughts, floods, storm intensification. It's like everything we're doing is against what 97% of the world's scientists, environmental scientists, are telling us. They're saying very clearly that we're heading for problems, and we're heading there pretty quickly. Second primary concept in the article is the idea that childhood, so that's the first idea. Second is the idea that childhood and adolescent thinking are not going to be helpful. Unfortunately, most of us get caught into that kind of thinking unless we've done some work to kind of evolve our consciousness. So what I'd like to point out is the idea that childhood and adolescent thinking tends to be very black and white. Very, this is the right way. It's kind of ideological kind of thinking. In other words, we're speaking in the imperative voice, and by golly, we are right. The other next idea that is covered in the article is nature's wisdom is 4,500,000,000 years of experience. And that's an experience of learning how to live in cooperation and to be mutually beneficial to one another. And probably the best way to see that is to look at the human body as a metaphor. And what we're doing now is we're beginning to look at how do we create a worldview. Right now, we have a worldview that the universe is kind of mechanistic. Okay, it's a machine, and you can tinker with it, and you can do this and that. What we're really finding out is that nature, all living systems in nature are organic, self-evolving systems. We have like trillions of cells in our body. And all of those cells, trillions of them now, not billions, not hundreds of billions, trillions, they're all cooperating. They all work together for mutual benefit. Some of them all gather up and they become our heart. Others gather up and they become our lungs. Some of them become our brains. What happens now is that if we're going to be working with nature, then we have to understand that every one of those cells benefits from being part of the heart. And then, of course, the heart benefits from the cells. And if all of the organs that all of those cells are cooperating with all cooperate together, then voila, we have a human being, right? So if we begin to look at that as a worldview, then what we understand is the next important concept in the article, and that is civilization. Human civilization is not a thing. It's not an object. It is a living, evolving organism comprised of 7 billion cells. Okay, and the cells obviously are human beings. So when we begin to look at our human civilization and what we're doing to the world, what we're recognizing is that we're using the wrong metaphor. We're using the wrong worldview. We're looking at it as we're a little bit too distant from it. What we have to begin to recognize is that everything is cooperating with everything else, and everything is benefiting from that connection. That's a big idea. And if you can get your head around it, it'll really change the way you see the world. Next key concept in the article is kind of a question. a question and a statement. The statement is, a lot of people believe that, and I believe, that humanity is ready to step into maturity. If you think about it, we have a lot of experience as a human species. I mean, we've built tools, we've learned how to create science and work with fire and blah, blah, blah. What we need to do now is to take that experience and turn it into a wisdom. And the wisdom is intellectual integrity. In other words, be willing to take our ideas, and this is one of the things we've learned as part of a civilization, is to take the ideas and if they work, run with them. But when they don't work, have the intellectual integrity to let go of your ideological or black and white childhood beliefs that you are so certain are correct and right. This is an open mind. And intellectual integrity is basically an open mind. And we want to get rid of ideologies. So the final concept that we're looking at is living systems are mutually cooperating and they all benefit from that interaction. We need to learn as a species how to adopt that worldview, that cooperative worldview, or there's a pretty good chance that we're going to be a part of the sixth great extinction. So, to sum up, if we want to live in a right relationship with nature and avoid the sixth extinction concept, then we have to begin to use intellectual integrity. We need to get rid of black and white, right and wrong ideologies. Civilization is not a thing. We are a living organic body called humanity. And we need to begin to see ourselves from that standpoint. And the human body is a great metaphor for it. Nature's wisdom, we're talking about a system that's been working very successfully creating life forms for 4.5 billion years. I don't think we are going to outthink it with our brains in a couple of years. I think first of all we have to learn how to cooperate with nature and use that wisdom and then step off from there. Childhood, adolescent thinking is not going to be helpful for us. It's going to put us into a box or a closed mind called right and wrong. So if we want to reverse the trends, which I think we need to, and 97% of our scientists in the world are telling us that we need to, then this is the model and the worldview that we're going to need. So if you want to read a little bit more about this, click the links below and it'll take you to the article and also to a sign-up page so you can sign up for the Stony Hill Nugget newsletter. They're always free, and I try to cover material like this in the articles. So stay awake, keep your focus on what's truly important and matters in your life, and have a great week. And remember to green up your sustainable footprint on this planet, because nature is counting on all of us to help her. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you down the road.